This is a story that began in silence and darkness. A story that changed everything. A story about how death was defeated and hope was reborn. The story of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. On the third day after Jesus' death, something incredible happened. An angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and the earth shook. The massive stone sealing the entrance to the tomb was rolled away. The guards who were stationed there fell to the ground in fear. The angel, whose appearance was like lightning, and whose clothes were as white as snow, sat on the stone. The tomb was empty. Early in the morning, the women who had followed Jesus came to the tomb to anoint his body with spices. They walked in sorrow, asking each other, "Who will roll the stone away from the entrance for us?" But as they approached, they saw that the stone had already been moved. When they entered, they found that Jesus' body was gone. Instead, an angel appeared to them and said, "Do not be afraid. Jesus, whom you are looking for, is not here. He has risen, just as he told you. Go, tell his disciples that he is going ahead of you to Galilee." Filled with fear and joy, the women ran to tell the disciples what they had seen, but the disciples did not believe them. So Peter and John hurried to the tomb. They went inside and saw the burial cloths lying where Jesus' body had been. The cloth that had been wrapped around his head was folded neatly and placed separately. When John saw this, he believed. That same day, 2 disciples were walking to the village of Emmaus, discussing everything that had happened. Jesus himself joined them, but they did not recognize him. He asked, "What are you talking about as you walk?" They replied, "Are you the only one in Jerusalem who doesn't know what has happened to Jesus of Nazareth? We had hoped he was the one who would redeem Israel. But he was crucified, and now it's the 3rd day since it happened. Some women told us they saw angels who said he is alive." Then Jesus explained to them how everything that had happened was foretold in the Scriptures. When they sat down to eat, Jesus took the bread, blessed it, broke it, and gave it to them. At that moment their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, but he disappeared from their sight. When they returned to Jerusalem, they told the disciples about their encounter with the risen Lord. Suddenly, Jesus himself appeared among them and said, "Peace be with you." The disciples were terrified, thinking they were seeing a ghost. But Jesus showed them his hands and feet, marked by the nails. "Touch me and see," he said. "A ghost does not have flesh and bones, as you see I have." To prove it further, he even ate a piece of broiled fish and some honey in front of them. Later, Jesus appeared to the disciples by the Sea of Galilee. They had been fishing all night but caught nothing. At dawn, Jesus stood on the shore, though they did not recognize him. He called out, "Cast your net on the right side of the boat." They did, and the net was so full of fish they couldn't haul it in. Then John exclaimed, "It is the Lord!" Peter jumped into the water and swam to shore. There they found a fire with fish and bread already prepared. Jesus shared the meal with them. After breakfast, Jesus asked Peter, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter replied, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." He asked this 3 times, and each time Peter affirmed his love. In this way, Jesus restored Peter after his denial and entrusted him with the care of his followers. Finally, Jesus appeared to the disciples on a mountain in Galilee. He said to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." After saying this, Jesus began to ascend into heaven, and a cloud hid him from their sight. The disciples stood there, gazing up at the sky, when suddenly 2 angels in white robes appeared beside them. They said, "Why do you stand here looking into the sky? This same Jesus, who has been taken from you into heaven, will come back in the same way you have seen him go. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is not just a story from the past. It is a promise of new life, hope, and victory over death. It is a story that continues in everyone who believes in him. Jesus is alive, and he is with us always.